Page 123, Chapter 6, Battle Lines Drawn in the Congress. It became amply clear, particularly after the Assembly elections, that Indira Gandhi was to be relegated to an insignificant position. While Brahmananda Reddy seemed cordial towards her, accommodating some people close to her as members, invitees of the CWC, her views were brushed aside while selecting candidates for the Assembly elections. Indira Gandhi sent me to K.C. Pant, the then General Secretary in charge of West Bengal, for help with candidate selection from the state. Pant was extremely cordial when I met him, but perhaps he was rendered powerless in face of Priyaranjan Dashmunshi and his group. Para. Indira Gandhi suggested that I meet Y.B. Chavan. Barkat, open bracket, A.B.A. Ghani Khan Chaudhry, close bracket, and I met Chavan at his racecourse residence. He too was cordial and receptive, but when we talked about the dominance of the group led by Dashmunshi, he made it clear that we would have to accept his guidance. He told me bluntly that I should not forget that Dashmunshi had been elected to the CWC while I had been defeated in that election. I emphasized that we were not questioning Dashmunshi's leadership, but wanted Chavan to be aware of Dashmunshi's starkly partisan behavior. Page 124. Chavan, however, could not be convinced. Many congressmen believed that Dashmunshi had been wronged during the emergency. His overwhelming success in the election to the CWC and CEC was also based on this perception. Para. I worked hard for the West Bengal Assembly elections. I was on both the campaign committee and the election manifesto committee. Siddhartha Babu and his supporters were against me, but the PCC president, Arun Moitro, had been cordial. I conducted a low-key campaign mainly in Malda, from where I had contested unsuccessfully in the previous Lok Sabha elections, and also in Birbhum and Burdwan. Para. Siddhartha Babu did not contest the election. Most of the ministers and leaders who contested the election were defeated. Out of 294 seats, the Congress got only 20. Almost all ministers, open bracket, except Barkat, who won by a margin of 43,569 votes, close bracket, including Abdus Sattar, Jainal Abedin, Bholanath Sen, Suniti Chottoraj, and Atish Sinha were defeated. The percentage of votes polled by the Congress also came down sharply, open bracket, from 34% in the Lok Sabha elections to 23% in the Assembly elections, close bracket, open inverted comma. Mr. Dashmunshi said anti-CPI, open bracket, M, close bracket, votes in West Bengal were divided between the Janata Party and the Congress. Had there been an alliance between the Janata and the CPI, open bracket, M, close bracket, the Congress could have fared better, close inverted comma, footnote 49. Para. The first part of Dashmunshi's observation was correct because the Janata Party and the Congress together polled about 56% of the votes and left about 44%. But if the Janata and the left had combined, the chances of the Congress would have been further diminished, as was evident in the Lok Sabha elections. Footnotes. Footnote 49. The Encyclopedia of the Indian National Congress, Volume 24, pages, I repeat, page 293. Page 125. The votes polled by the Janata Party were not anti-left but anti-Congress because the leftists came to power only after the election. Para. The Congress lost as it had no courage or conviction to fight and was a divided house. Even before the battle began, the Congress had lost the war because its general, open bracket, the chief minister, close bracket, had run away from the battlefield. Siddhartha Babu's supporters had assiduously floated and popularized the view that the Congress's Lok Sabha loss in West Bengal was because of a section of congressmen, open bracket, with the help of Sanjay Gandhi, close bracket, had worked at destabilizing the, open inverted comma, most popular, close inverted comma, chief minister West Bengal had ever had. The truth was that the people's verdict in the Lok Sabha election was a reaction to the fractional fight within the Congress over the previous 4-5 years, misdeeds of some ministers, the policy of alienating the traditional Congress base, and the overall reaction against the emergency. Else, why would such a popular chief minister refused to contest the assembly election from the safest constituency in West Bengal, Chaurangi, a seat which had remained vacant since Shankar Ghosh's election to the Rajya Sabha in 1976. Para. At the national level, the early signs of the split started showing in the Youth Congress. Immediately after the Lok Sabha elections, D.K. Borua replaced Ambika Soni with Priyaranjan Dashmunshi as the president of the Youth Congress. History witnessed a complete twist, tragic or comic. I cannot tell. It was the same Borua who, on a cold November evening at my 11 Ashok Road house, asked Dashmunshi to tender his resignation as the president of the Youth Congress in the presence of D.P. Chattopadhyay, open bracket, considered the member of the Dashmunshi camp, close bracket, and me. This was done only to satisfy Sanjay Gandhi, who wanted to control the Youth Congress and who didn't consider Dashmunshi an able Youth Congress president. Page 126. Now with Sanjay Gandhi's fall, the same Congress president who had removed him now reinstated Dashmunshi, with the only difference being that the venue was not my residence. Para. The Youth Congress got a bad name. A section of congressmen believed that the party was routed in the Lok Sabha elections because of the misdeeds of the Youth Congress. At the CWC review, open bracket, between 12th to 15th April, close bracket, of the party's performance in the Lok Sabha election, a large number of state representatives accused the Youth Congress of being responsible for the defeat of the Congress. So changed was the atmosphere then that it was completely devoid of logic or rationality. It's no surprise, therefore, that the party decided to do away with the Youth Congress. It was decided that organizational elections to the Youth Congress committees at various levels were to be held after 1 year. Para. It is interesting to note that Sanjay Gandhi's 5-point program directed at correcting ecological imbalance and population control was completely forgotten, losing its relevance and importance with the fall of its author. Sanjay Gandhi became anathema, as did all his programs. Para. During these days, I spent a lot of time with Indira Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. Indira Gandhi had shifted to 12 Willingdon Crescent, and Manika was helping Sanjay Gandhi, who was involved in managing a series of inquiries by multiple investigating agencies, civil and criminal, while running her news magazine, Surya. Para. My discussions with Indira Gandhi resolved around our future course of action. After the assembly elections, we started contacting people. B.P. Maurya, Khurshid Alam Khan, A.R. Antule, Bhagwat Ja Azad, Saroj Kaparde, Margaret Alva, Pratibha Singh, Venkat Swamy, and B. Shankaranand. Sanjay Gandhi suggested that I form a group of younger members, and with that in mind, I got in touch with Lalit Makin and a few other boys from Delhi. Vasant Sathe had already taken up the cause of Indira Gandhi in the Lok Sabha, and Kalpatnath Rai did the same in the Rajya Sabha. Page 127. We obviously did not wait for the decision of the CWC because we knew that the Youth Congress would be buried deep without any chance of revival. We therefore worked out our own course of action and began reorganizing the youth under another umbrella. After a few discussions with Sanjay and Indira Gandhi, we set up a youth forum on a very low key. A meeting was convened at the Vittalabhai Patel House in New Delhi, with those present including Ramchandra Rath, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Tariq Anwar, and Lalit Makin. A total of 17 youth activists attending the meeting. I repeat, a total of 17 youth activists attended the meeting. I presided over it, and we formally launched the Youth Forum with Ramchandra Rath as convener. It was resolved that state units of the forum would be established and contact would be made with activists in different parts of the country. Erstwhile Youth Congress activists joined the forum in their thousands, and long before the formal split of 1978, we were able to install units of the forum in almost all states. In West Bengal, Somen Mitra was given charge, and he continued to head the youth organization in West Bengal till 1986. In no time, we were able to garner the support of a large number of the youth. In the years to come, all leaders of the forum were to play important roles in Congress politics. Para. A couple of months after this, Indira Gandhi came out of her self-imposed confinement and started touring the country. She met Vinoba Bhave at Poner and JP at Patna. Her visits to Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, open bracket, Belchi, close bracket, and Andhra Pradesh drew huge crowds, and it was clear that the crowd puller in her remained as active as ever. Page 128. The Janata Party, aided by a section of congressmen, continued with their relentless slander campaign with the media, open bracket, government and otherwise, close bracket, supporting them. The Shah Commission drama, which started at the end of September, took this slander campaign to its peak. It was then that the surge of popular enthusiasm for Indira Gandhi reassured us that the party could overcome all crises under her leadership. We started the groundwork for restoring her authority within the party. Para. The first signs of the impending split in the party became visible immediately after the party's debacle in the general elections in March 1977. Through a signature campaign, some AICC members demanded a meeting to remove Borua from the office of Congress President. A signatory myself, I helped collect a number of other signatures, making it clear that I considered Indira Gandhi's leadership indispensable for the party, and that I would stay with her. Everybody knew of my affiliation, and I did not give them reason to believe otherwise till the day she died. Para. The 153 signatures collected were placed before the CWC at its meeting on 13th April 1977. However, this was a wasted exercise, as at the meeting that day, Borua, owning responsibility for the party's debacle at the polls, conveyed his decision to resign from the office of the president of the party. Para. However, the situation did not improve much after the election of the new Congress president and the formation of the new team. The planned process of denigrating Indira Gandhi and isolating her followers continued unabated. She was not even considered a part of the collective leadership. While she toured the country, her programs were avoided by local party organizations with the tacit support of the party's national leadership. Para. The election to the Congress Parliamentary Party was held during the budget session of Parliament, open bracket, June-July, close bracket. Page 129. Backed by the High Command, most of these elected Backed by the High Command, most of those elected were those who had dissociated themselves from Indira Gandhi and, except for Kalpnath Rai and Vasant Sathe, almost all the others were hostile towards her. MPs issued statements at regular intervals denouncing Indira Gandhi and her so-called caucus, with the party leadership taking no steps to restrain them. Para. A pressure group, the open inverted comma, I repeat, a pressure group, the open inverted comma, Thursday Club, close inverted comma, suddenly surfaced and tried to dominate the Congress Parliamentary Party, comprising, among others, Bipin Pal Das, open bracket, Assam, close bracket, Amjad Ali, open bracket, West Bengal, close bracket, Vittal Gadgil, open bracket, Maharashtra, close bracket, Devendra Dwivedi, open bracket, UP, close bracket, and Dr. V.A. Syed Muhammad, open bracket, Kerala, close bracket. Their initial target was the, open inverted comma, mafia gang, close inverted comma, of Sanjay Gandhi. But they soon trained their guns on Indira Gandhi too. This group had done fairly well in the elections to the CPP, and Sardar Amjad Ali was elected secretary and Bipin Pal Das was appointed chief whip. Footnote 50. Y.B. Chavan utilized this group fully till the split in the party, though after March 1978 elections in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra, this group collapsed like a pack of cards. Para. Battle lines were being drawn in West Bengal too, particularly after the debacle in the assembly elections. During the assembly elections, I tried my best to bring about a compromise and worked hard to prepare the manifesto and raise funds. I tried to speak to all stakeholders to expand the area of agreement and had several rounds of talks with D.P. Chattopadhyay, Arun Moitro, Dr. Gopal Das Nag, Priya Ranjan Das Munshi, Prafullo Kanti Ghosh, and Siddhartha Shankar Ray. That said, I was rebuffed by almost everyone except Dr. Nag and Arun Moitro. Footnotes. Footnote 50. Vasant Sathe originally belonged to this group, but because of his strong pro-Indira stance, the group discarded him. Page 130. Para. It was time for the election of the Pradesh, open bracket, State, close bracket, Congress Committee, open bracket, PCC, close bracket, President, as Arun Moitro had resigned, owning responsibility to the party's debacle in the assembly elections. Moitro, however, could not be held responsible as he had to contend with infighting by Das Munshi and others. I was not very close to Moitro back then, but had great respect for him. A perfect gentleman with a strong sense of duty, he became a victim of group politics. After Moitro resigned, Abdur Rauf Ansari took over as interim president. I repeat, as interim president. The Statesman, open bracket, Calcutta, 7th July 1977, close bracket, reported, elections are soon to be held to elect a president of the West Bengal Pradesh Congress Committee to replace Mr. Arun Moitro, who has resigned. The central leadership of the Congress Party has agreed to hold an election rather than nominate or impose him from above, Priyaranjan Dashmunshi said here today. Dashmunshi said he had talks in this connection with the Congress President K. Brahmananda Reddy, the General Secretary K.C. Pant, and the Leader of the Opposition Y.B. Chavan. They all agreed that there should be an election and that no ad hoc committee should be appointed. Para. Our Shiliguri staff correspondent writes, Arun Moitro told reporters here today that he, too, would like to see his successor elected rather than chosen through a, open inverted comma, staged, close inverted comma, consensus. Only if there was an election, the unit would be able to defeat a move by, open inverted comma, pro-Sanjay Gandhi elements, close inverted comma, to capture the state party apparatus, he said. Para. Moitro said that the word, open inverted comma, unanimity, close inverted comma, had lost meaning because of infighting. He felt that the state congress would not be acceptable to the people of West Bengal unless it was purged of, open inverted comma, pro-Sanjay elements, close inverted comma. Page 131. Para. Moitro said that the Congress had suffered reverses in the assembly elections because of the, open inverted comma, forcible inclusion, close inverted comma, of several pro-Sanjay stalwarts in the party's list of candidates. It is learned that Sanjay Gandhi's supporters want Abdus Sattar, MLA, as president of the state unit. Their opponents prefer Pranab Mukherjee, a general secretary, open bracket, former, close bracket, of the AICC. The new PCC president will be elected by the end of this month. Para. Barkat and I took the lead in consolidating pro-Indira elements. As I have already mentioned, the grouping was along the old lines of, open inverted comma, pro-changers, close inverted comma, and, open inverted comma, no changers, close inverted comma, with the difference being that the pro-change group had been reduced in strength. I had the support of Nurul Islam, Anand Mohan Bishas, Govinda Noshkar, Shomen Mitro, Devaprasad Roy, open bracket, Mithu, close bracket, and Birendra Mohanty, besides Barkat. In fact, this was the nucleus which formed the Congress, open bracket, one, close bracket, in the days to come. Para. We took up the challenge with all seriousness and on 8th July met to work out a strategy to ensure that Abdus Sattar got the support of the majority of the PCC members. I knew there was no way out except to resort to a show of strength. We decided to travel to the districts and contact PCC members personally. Each person in our group was allocated specific districts, and it was decided that Barkat, Sattar, and I should visit as many districts. I repeat, should visit as many districts as possible. There was no other way to deal with the opposing group, which was determined to eliminate us politically. Para. The election was fixed for 12th August 1977 at Laha House in central Calcutta with K.C. Panth, AICC General Secretary, as the observer. Shoman Mitro had put up a huge banner on Amherst Street, open bracket, with an open inverted comma, no Indira, no Congress, close inverted comma, close bracket, and garnered media attention. I repeat, and garnered media attention. However, our efforts did not yield the desired results. Abdus Sattar was defeated by Pranab Mukherjee by a margin of 60 votes. Page 132. Para. I was dejected. Some of the district leaders we had counted heavily on had let us down. All the heavyweights of the West Bengal Congress, Siddhartha Shankar Ray, D.P. Chattopadhyay, Dashmunshi, Subrata Mukherjee, had worked hard for Pranab Mukherjee. I repeat, for Pranab Mukherjee. And Subrata Mukherjee's switchover to the Pranab Mukherjee camp tilted the balance in her favor. Barkat and others came to my room at Nizam Palace that night, entirely downcast. I told them that we needed to prepare ourselves for the worst in the coming months. I knew that a long and torturous winter was awaiting us with hardly any ray of light in the all-encompassing darkness. Para. The general body of the West Bengal Congress met the following day, and I put in a brief appearance to formally congratulate Pranab Mukherjee. I left Calcutta for Delhi the same day, en route attending 2 Independence Day celebrations at Asansol, organized by some trade unions. The evening radio bulletin broadcast the news of the arrest of R.K. Dhawan, Yashpal Kapoor, and others. I smiled. Open inverted comma. I repeat, I smiled. The famous words of Mr. Micawber from Dickens' David Copperfield echoed in my mind, open inverted comma. The die is cast. I repeat, open inverted comma. The die is cast. All is over. Close inverted comma. No occasion for tears or trepidation. I needed all my strength to fight back. Para. On 3rd October 1977, the CBI arrested Indira Gandhi from her residence at 12 Willingdon Crescent. I was at home when I got the news from a United News of India correspondent that Indira Gandhi, along with K.D. Malviya, H.R. Gokhale, P.C. Sethi, and D.P. Chattopadhyay had been arrested. The correspondent told me that I too was likely to be arrested. Page 133. I requested a friend, open bracket, who was visiting, close bracket, to go fetch his wife. I repeat, to go fetch my wife Geeta, who had gone out to watch a movie. And then I waited on the lawn with my pipe, tobacco, matchbox, and a small suitcase. I decided I would not apply for bail and prepare myself for an indefinite stay in jail. Geeta came back, and together we waited for the police, but nobody came. After about 11 p.m., I told Geeta that instead of waiting for the police, we could go to Indira Gandhi's residence and find out what was happening there. We left a note with our servant in case the police came looking for us that we would be at 12 Willingdon Crescent. Para. At Indira Gandhi's residence, we found several people, but not Sanjay and Rajiv Gandhi. Sanjay Gandhi came in later and was surprised to see me. He had been told that the police had already picked me up. I heard from him the details of Indira Gandhi's arrest, and then we talked about making arrangements for the next day. I returned home at 2 a.m., only to go back to 12 Willingdon Crescent a few hours later. The area had now been cordoned off, and it required a fair amount of coaxing for me to be allowed in. Having met the others inside, Vasant Sathe and I left for police lines, where we were told that Indira Gandhi had been taken to court. We headed there, making our way past numerous groups of pro- and anti-Indira demonstrators. The anti-Indira rallies were mostly Janata Party demonstrations against her. Open inverted comma, hang her, close inverted comma, they shouted. Some of their slogans were in very bad taste. The pro-Indira demonstrators, on the other hand, were shouting slogans against the high-handedness of the Janata government and the politically motivated arrest of Indira Gandhi. The courtroom was crowded, and we would not have made it inside without police help. Indira Gandhi stood in the dock, a Shantiniketan bag hanging from her shoulder. She saw me and asked, open inverted comma, how come you are here? Close inverted comma. I told her what had happened. Page 134. Para. A few minutes later, the judge, R. Dayal, delivered his judgment and was honorably acquitted. I repeat, and she was honorably acquitted. We returned to her residence, which was now surrounded by Seva Dal volunteers distributing sweets. Inside, too, there was a crowd. Kamalapati Tripathi and Brahmananda Reddy, Brahmananda Reddy, were among the senior Congress leaders present. Foreign and Indian correspondents waited to chat with Indira Gandhi. After spending some time with them, she climbed up a ladder to the terrace where a microphone had been fixed for her to address the rapidly increasing crowd outside. The crowd chased away author and journalist Uma Vasudev, open bracket, who had written Two Faces of Indira Gandhi just after the emergency, close bracket. Pranab Mukherjee came, but nobody paid much attention to her. Officially, the Congress organization reacted strongly to Indira Gandhi's arrest. When the news broke, Brahmananda Reddy hastened to her residence and waited there till she was taken away by the police. Y.B. Chavan, who was out of town, rushed back to Delhi to strongly condemn the Janata Party's action as vindictive. The same night, an urgent meeting of the CWC was convened and a resolution, open bracket, see Appendix 11, close bracket, was passed condemning her arrest and that of 4 other Congress leaders. Para. The following day, open bracket, 4th October, close bracket, the CWC met again. At the outset, K.C. Pant, General Secretary, reported the spontaneous but peaceful demonstrations being held throughout the country. Despite the unprovoked and ruthless attacks by the police and hirelings of the Janata Party and the subsequent arrest of scores of Congress workers. Another resolution was passed condemning these arrests, urging congressmen to build up a resistance movement, I repeat, a resistance movement peacefully throughout the nation. Open bracket, see Appendix 12, close bracket. The reaction of common Congress workers was spontaneous and angry, but determined. Page 135. Notably, however, a section of the leadership kept absolutely quiet regarding the arrest. The media and most opposition parties gave full support to the Janata government's decision, the only exception being S.A. Dange, a veteran leader of India's communist movement, who spoke against the Janata Party. I repeat, who spoke against the Janata Party's vindictive attitude towards Indira Gandhi and reminded the people of her anti-imperialist role in the past. Para. The arrest was full of drama. The police came at 3 p.m. without a proper warrant. They produced one only when this was pointed out to them. In the meantime, uniformed as well as plainclothes policemen surrounded the house. Maneka Gandhi contacted as many people as she could. Open bracket, her phone had been spared from being disconnected. Close bracket, and a large number of congressmen and leaders assembled at 12 Willingdon Crescent. The lawyers who had previously scheduled appointment with, I repeat, the lawyers who had a previously scheduled appointment with Indira Gandhi for 3 p.m. that day got into an argument with the CBI's N.K. Singh. The drama notwithstanding, Indira Gandhi was taken away late that evening, but not before she made a brief statement to the press that the arrest was politically motivated. While Sanjay Gandhi did not react, Rajiv Gandhi's reaction was sharp. He pointed out that the Janata Party's government was unlikely to have anything against Indira Gandhi, aside from some flimsy charges of illegal connivance to secure some jeeps for the party. Para. Indira Gandhi was followed by her lawyers, a group of loyalists and family members, Rajiv, Sonia, Sanjay, and Maneka Gandhi. It was decided that Nirmala Deshpande would accompany her into custody. The police wanted to take her to the Badkal Lake guest house in Haryana. When the I repeat, Barkhal Lake guest house in Haryana. When the convoy stopped at a level crossing near Faridabad, Sector 2, Indira Gandhi stepped out and sat on a culvert. Her lawyers argued with the police personnel that taking the open inverted comma, prisoner, close inverted comma, outside the city's territorial jurisdiction was not legally tenable. The police had to concede to this legal obligation and took her back to police lines in Old Delhi. Page 136. Para. The Wayside drama was reported by some newspapers in Delhi the following day. A correspondent of the Patriot who followed her convoy got to interview Indira Gandhi as she sat on the culvert. On 4th October 1977, the Patriot reported, on her way to detention, I repeat, on her way to detention, Indira Gandhi's, I repeat, on her way to detention, Indira Gandhi forecast the imminent fall of the present government. Open inverted comma, the government which fears, open bracket, political opponents, close bracket, cannot govern the country, close inverted comma. Mrs. Gandhi said, I repeat, Mrs. Gandhi added, asked what she thought could be the immediate provocation for the Janta government to arrest her, Mrs. Gandhi said, open inverted comma, I think my visits to Agra and Kanpur, close inverted comma. Para. Question. How did the CBI officials come to you and why? What were you doing then? Mrs. Gandhi. It was about 3 p.m. I had an appointment with some lawyers, but I asked them to wait for a few moments. Question. What sort of harassment did you undergo during the past few months? Mrs. Gandhi. You know they have been preventing people from meeting me. I did not get my mail. During the last few days, they did all that they could to wreck my nerves. But I can tell you they could not succeed. My nerves are as strong as they had always been. Question. How are you feeling now? Mrs. Gandhi. I am feeling perfectly all right. Question. What are the charges leveled against you? Mrs. Gandhi, open bracket, with an air of disgust, close bracket, some corruption charges in connection with jeeps, I think. Page 137. Newspaper report. I repeat, newspaper reports indicated that the Janta Party had a difference of opinion regarding the arrest of Indira Gandhi. On the same day, that is 4th October, the Patriot published a report headlined, open inverted comma, Janata Rift over Arrest, close inverted comma, and it read, the decision to arrest Mrs. Gandhi was taken late on Sunday night by top leaders of the Janta Party. The faction led by Prime Minister Morarji Desai, Home Minister Charan Singh, and members of the erstwhile Janna Sangh were able to prevail over the others on this issue. Para. Discussion on whether or not to arrest Mrs. Gandhi had been on ever since 25th September, when a letter written by Mr. Jayaprakash Narayan was received by party chief Chandrasekhar. Mr. Narayan had reportedly painted an alarming picture of the situation developing in the country, the growing unrest among the people, and the fact that Mrs. Gandhi was out to take advantage of the situation. The letter prompted Chandrasekhar to invite Home Minister Charan Singh to his house for dinner. The very next day, discussions continued for 4 hours, according to reliable sources. This was followed by a cabinet meeting, but still no final decision could be taken. Para. A dominant section in the Janata Party is reported to have sought Mrs. Gandhi's arrest by 28th September, but the issue was put off again till Sunday night, when the final go-ahead was issued to the CBI. Para. According to sources, some top Janata Party leaders were unaware of the decision till Monday afternoon, when the plainclothes men were posted and the CBI officials were prepared to go to Mrs. Gandhi's residence. While CBI officials were haggling with Mrs. Gandhi's supporters and legal advisors, a large number of congressmen arrived at her residence. Page 138. I do not know the extent to which the report is correct, but when the open inverted comma arrest close inverted comma ended in a fiasco, there was utter confusion within the Janata Party. Many of them blamed Charan Singh and held him responsible. This action had serious repercussions within the Janata Party, and its government lost face, crucially with the masses. It not only reflected the vindictiveness of the Janata Party government, but also proved its utter inefficiency and casual attitude towards administration. A joke doing the rounds in those days was, open inverted comma, look at the competence of this government. A woman who had put a few hundred leaders in jail for 19 months could not be put behind bars by them even for 19 hours. Close inverted comma. Para. It was also rumored in Delhi that Justice Shah expressed annoyance over the arrest and wanted to tender his resignation, but was prevailed upon by the Prime Minister not to do so. But on our part, we needed to focus on the difficult task at hand. Indira Gandhi was to face significant challenges in the months ahead, within her party and outside, and we prepared ourselves to deal with them. Para. The initial reaction of the CWC, as I have stated before, was correct. But when they saw the sympathetic and spontaneous reaction within the rank and file of the Congress against Indira Gandhi's arrest, they started dragging their feet. Rather than strengthening her position, the then Congress leadership was more interested in ensuring that she disappeared into oblivion. The mass euphoria wherever she went not only unnerved the Janata Party leaders, but also had a similar effect on those within the Congress. Congress President Brahmananda Reddy, though a good soul and personally loyal to Indira Gandhi, could not muster sufficient courage to overcome the influence of anti-Indira elements in the party. They took the usual stand that she had not dissociated herself from the open inverted comma, caucus, close inverted comma, and she was guided by them. Page 139, para. The AICC session subsequently called to condemn the repression by the Janata Party government, instead turned into a forum for condemning Indira Gandhi. Even a senior leader like Swaran Singh joined her critics in the open session. K.P. Krishnan called her a open inverted comma, Bourbon, close inverted comma, monarch who refused to learn lessons from history. A host of speakers were handpicked by the president to attack Indira Gandhi and the so-called emergency excesses, as allegedly revealed by the findings of the Shah Commission. Footnote 51. Many of us were denied a chance to speak at the AICC meeting. While I was unsuccessful all the 3 times I tried, Sathe did get the chance and spoke forcefully and effectively to expose the, open inverted comma, sycophants of yesterday turned rebels of today, close inverted comma. But he was alone, outnumbered. Para. However, it is not as if Indira Gandhi was bereft of supporters. When C. Subramaniam rose to speak, a large number of AICC members protested against him for his evidence before the Shah Commission. While deposing before the Commission on 1st October, Subramaniam had blamed Indira Gandhi and had said that he had made some appointments to the RBI and other banks on her instructions. Subramaniam could not complete his speech as slogans and counter-slogans were raised for and against Indira Gandhi. The tone of the meeting was totally against the spirit of the formal resolution. It seemed to me that perhaps the speakers did not read the resolution or deliberately utilize the forum to propagate their anti-Indira stance. Indira Gandhi came to the meeting in the evening and spoke dispassionately, ignoring all insinuations and insults. She reminded the Congress members of their future tasks. Footnotes. Footnote 51. The Commission had started its inquiry from the last week of September, and as discussed earlier in this book, about 6 former ministers passed the buck on to Indira Gandhi, pleading their innocence while deposing before the Commission. Page 140. Para. We were utterly disappointed with the outcome. I had sincerely hoped that the leadership would rise to the occasion and take this opportunity to bury the hatchet. I repeat, to bury the hatchet. The surge of emotion building up around Indira Gandhi and her humiliating arrest was played down by the leadership, which thought it best to let her fight her own battles. Not a word was uttered against the ministers who shamelessly shirked their responsibilities before the Shah Commission, and no decision was taken on how to deal with such politically motivated commissions. Para. A.R. Antule, Bhagat Jha Azad, Vasant Sathe, B.P. Maurya, A.P. Sharma, Bhutta Singh, Kalpanath Rai, a few others, and I started meeting frequently at Antule's residence. We were working on a strategy to overcome the impasse and discuss these with Indira Gandhi and Kamalapati Tripathi regularly. It was decided that we should contact grassroots Congress workers so as to ascertain their views. Indira Gandhi had re-established her hold over the masses substantially, and we had to see to what extent the Congress rank and file could be mobilized. We had detailed talks with state-level leaders, getting the support of most from North India, particularly those from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. Footnote 52. Footnotes. Footnote 52. Prominent among them, I repeat, prominent among them were N.D. Tiwari, Mohsina Kidwai, Rajendra Kumari, Bajpai, Virendra Verma, Sham Lal Yadav, UP, Kedar Pandey, Jagannath Mishra, Pratibha Singh, Bihar, J.B. Patnaik, and Ramchandra Rath, Orissa, Jagannath Pahadia, Nawal Kishore Sharma, G.L. Vyas from Rajasthan, H.K.L. Bhagat, Radha Raman, Delhi, Sultan Singh, Dalbir Singh, Haryana, Zail Singh, Darbar Singh, Punjab, Ramlal, Himachal Pradesh, Krishan Pal Singh, Madhya Pradesh, Saroj Kaparde, Maharashtra, Chandrasekhar, G.K. Mupanar, Nedumaran, Ramamurthy from Tamil Nadu, the entire leadership of Karnataka, open bracket, except the group of K.H. Patil, close bracket, P.V. Narasimha Rao, G. Venkat Swamy, Janardhan Reddy, Andhra Pradesh, Anwara Taimur, Vishnu Prasad, Assam, Ashok Bhattacharya, Tripura, Madhav Singh Solanki, Yogendra Makhwana, Ratubhai Adani, Jinabhai Darji, Sanat Mehta, Gujarat, and Barkat, Sattar, Showmen, Narul, Anand, and Govindo, West Bengal. Page 141. It was our conviction that the Congress organization could not be made dynamic without a change in leadership. After the AICC session of October 1977, the leadership had made it abundantly clear to us, open bracket, through a series of measures adopted by it, close bracket, that it was more interested in distancing itself from the past. It was thus decided that we should try to organize a show of strength by sending a notice of requisition for an AICC meeting. Arrangements were made to collect signatures from AICC members. We also decided that we should speak out and express our views about what was going on in the organization. Para. I addressed the media in Calcutta where I disclosed that 17 signatures had been secured for the requisition notice and that it was more than what we had expected. In order to avoid any, within open inverted comma, hide and seek, close inverted comma, which some people were prone to do, I disclosed the names of signatories. ABA Ganikan Chaudhary, Abdul Sattar, Qazi Abdul Ghafoor, Ajit Kumar Panja, K. Sheikh Daulat Ali, Shanti Mohan Roy, Anand Mohan Biswas, Gobind Noshkar, Sunil Mandal, Suhas Datta Roy, Rajkumar Mishra, Ajit Banerjee, Tuhin Shamanto, AKM Ishaq, Fazle Haq, Gautam Chakravarti, and Pranab Mukherjee. Para. The Amrit Bazar Patrika, open bracket, Calcutta, 25th October, close bracket, reported. Pranab Mukherjee, leader of the pro-Indira group in West Bengal, claimed in Calcutta on Monday that he had received signatures from 18 within Sikh, open bracket, Sikh, close bracket, out of the 51 AICC members demanding for a requisitioned meeting of the All India Congress Committee to install Mrs. Indira Gandhi as its president in place of Brahmananda Reddy. Mr. Mukherjee said, the pro-requisitionists are in a majority in AICC, but in West Bengal, of course, they are in a minority. However, he was talking to various leaders in the state, and he hoped that some who were yet to make up their mind might join them at the last moment. Page 142. The former Union Minister, Mr. Mukherjee, who is said to be very close to Mrs. Gandhi, was very frank in expressing this opinion. He said, open inverted commas, Mrs. Gandhi is indispensable for the Congress organization. This Congress leader, I repeat, those Congress leaders who are publicly humiliating Mrs. Gandhi and issuing statements against her are directly responsible for the split in the Congress party. We do not want a split. We want unity under the effective leadership of Mrs. Gandhi, who had given a remarkable leadership during the last 12 years. We need her very much, particularly at this moment when the party is in deep crisis. Close inverted comma. Para. Mr. Mukherjee is leaving for a meeting of requisitionists to be held at the residence of Kamalapati Tripathi in Delhi. The number of signatures received in favor of the requisitioned meeting will be known at that meeting, and it will be decided when they are going to present the list demanding for the meeting. Para, asked whether they had approached Mr. Siddhartha Shankar Ray, Mr. Mukherjee said he did not want him to join their group. Another leader of the pro-Indira group in West Bengal, Nurul Islam, said that, open inverted comma, even if he wants to join our camp, we will not welcome him because he is a doubtful character in Indian politics, close inverted comma. Mr. Mukherjee said that he also contacted Mr. Devi Prasad Chattopadhyay, a former union minister, but the latter refused to give his signature in favor of their move. Subrata Mukherjee also refused to be associated with them. Para, the anti-requisitionists were also active. A day after my media interaction, Subrata Mukherjee made a statement that he would go to Burdwan to prevail upon Tuhin Samanto to withdraw his signature. In fact, some of the signatories, like Tuhin Samanto, Ajit Banerjee, and Sunil Mondal, did ultimately back out. Page. Page 143. Madhu Limai, the General Secretary of Janata Party, wrote a letter to Brahmananda Reddy warning him I repeat, Madhu Limai, the General Secretary of the Janata Party, wrote a letter to Brahmananda Reddy warning him about the, within open inverted comma, designs, close inverted comma, of Indira Gandhi and her, open inverted comma, caucus, close inverted comma, to oust him as party president and capture the organization. He also suggested that the Congress might gain credibility if the leadership could come out of the clutches of Indira Gandhi and her coterie. This letter caused a lot of embarrassment for the Congress leadership. Grassroots congressmen were stunned at the audacity that prompted an outsider to interfere with the internal affairs of a party. To save face, some Congress leaders openly criticized Madhu Limai's letter. Pranab Mukherjee, the then president of the West Bengal Pradesh Congress Committee, observed that the letter was uncalled for. She said, open inverted comma, our fight is our internal affair. Janata Party is a separate political organization. Why should we take advice from another political party? We do not want it. I repeat, we do not want it. He has no business to write a letter about our internal affairs. Close inverted comma, footnote 53. Her reaction was not supported by the attitude of the senior leaders of the party. Para. Since October, the crisis in Karnataka had deepened with K.H. Patil, open bracket, state party president, close bracket, on one side, and Devraj Urs on another. The official group was prepared to support Devraj Urs, provided he ditched Indira Gandhi. Devraj Urs suspected that with the help of H.K. Patil, who later caused defections in the legislature party, the Janata Party government at the centre would dismiss his ministry. He knew that once he was out of office, the central leaders would ditch him. Footnotes. Footnote 53, as quoted in Amritabajar Putrika, 25th October. Page 144. The central government had already appointed a commission under Justice Grover to look into allegations against him and his government. It is in this context that he understood that Indira Gandhi was his key to success in the elections, as she alone could draw people's support to the Congress. Being a shrewd politician, he realized that her influence over the people in his state, particularly among the women and the weaker sections, was tremendous. In ensuing elections, Indira Gandhi would be the star attraction, and without her help, electoral success was impossible. Consequently, he went about organizing Indira Gandhi's visits in Karnataka. These rallies pulled huge crowds, though they were almost invariably disturbed by the small group of demonstrators generally organized by the Janata Party. The differences between Patil and Urs resulted in a tussle for chief ministership. Gundu Rao, F.M. Khan, and a couple of other strong supporters of Indira Gandhi sided with Urs. Para. The CWC wanted to solve the problem and worked out a 5-point formula at its meeting held on 6 December 1977. Y.B. Chavan and Kamalapati Tripathi, two members of the CWC, were entrusted with the task of talking to both Patil and Urs and getting them to accept the following formula. 1. K.H. Patil will continue as president of the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee. 2. Devraj Urs will be made a permanent invitee of the Congress Working Committee and the Central Election Committee, even if the ministry is dismissed or the assembly is dissolved and he does not remain chief minister. 3. A Pradesh Election Committee will be appointed by the AICC, giving weightage to Devraj Urs by giving him a majority of 1. Number 4. The Congress Working Committee will appoint a representative to attend the Pradesh Election Committee meeting for coordinating and smooth functioning of the committee. Number 5. All disciplinary action taken and disciplinary proceedings initiated by the PCC President K.H. Patil, including suspension of the committee, will be reviewed by the AICC to create a better atmosphere of understanding in the state so that the party can present a united image to confidently face the electorate in the coming assembly elections. Para. This formula did not work, however. On 10th December, Y.B. Chavan and Kamalapati Tripathi, entrusted with the job of negotiating with Patil and Urs, reported to the CWC that they had failed to work out a rapprochement between the two warring camps in the Karnataka, I repeat, in the Karnataka Congress. Chavan reported that Devraj Urs did not even meet him. The CWC left the I repeat, the CWC left the matter at that. Para. Meanwhile, K.H. Patil engineered a defection in the legislature party and urged the governor to dismiss the Urs government on the grounds of losing majority. Asked by the governor to show his majority, Urs convened the assembly session. However, 2 days before the session, the ministry was dismissed and the assembly dissolved. Para. The Karnataka debacle was one of many issues which ultimately led to the split in the Congress. This is not to forget that long before this event, seeds of the split were sown by systematic campaigns against Indira Gandhi.